Hi, this is Adrian. In this next video, just after this introduction, is going to be my workshop, which is one of 10 workshops that the Ninja Forex group traders have put together. Each live trader has done a different video. In mine we cover Iron Academy colours along with support and resistance. So I hope you enjoy it. You can get all the other videos in the workshop for free. Just click the link below to join our free Facebook Lite group and then get involved. Put Adrian, our Tenerife trader, as the person who took you there, and then you can access all the other workshops at your leisure. They are recorded, they're going out this week, okay? And if you join this week, there'll be a ton of bonuses as well. So I will see you on the other side.
Hey everyone, how you doing? So in this part of the workshop, I'm talking to Adrian Langdale. How you doing, Adrian?
Hi Paul, you all right, mate?
I'm very well, thank you. Now, Adrian's going to go over a couple of things today, really. He's going to go over what are generally considered the first things that you'll learn when you look to trade Forex in a lot of places: support, resistance, trend lines. Maybe you'll throw a bit extra in as he looks at a chart, I don't know. But these are the things that people look at, and they kind of, it's all, each one of them is pretty simple, but people kind of get freaked out by it. And then that was going to be today's video in its entirety. Now, what we're going to do a short version of that because we want to show you something else to kind of demonstrate why we use the tools that we use. But before we get to any of that, I think what would be really good, Adrian, do you want to kind of, because we've got an interview on the website that people can go and watch if you want the full story, but do you just want to kind of briefly tell people why you're called the Tenerife trader?
I live in Tenerife and I trade.
There you go, that was that. So that
It's a long video, that one. I've basically been looking at Forex for a number of years on and off, and during March last year, 2020, I was doing freelance website design here in Tenerife, mainly for local businesses, but anywhere really, you know, across the world that want websites and stuff built. And I was doing okay. I was building up a client base, and then all of a sudden COVID hit, and pretty much the whole of Tenerife tourist industry went overnight, and it's still not back. Almost, well, it's over a year later. So all my clients that I had lined up at that time literally said, hang on, hang fire. So I pretty much lost my income overnight. And then I sort of started looking at Forex again. And it was about August, I think, last year. I got in touch with the Ninja group. My mate Alan Kavanagh put me in touch with you guys. I started learning the Ninja trading system, and I took used a demo account to start with to prove that I could be consistent and successful with it. And then I took a very small live account, and by October, so August, September, October, within 3 months, I'd made a livable wage here in Tenerife. So it allowed me to stay here and trade.
because you were on the verge of having to come back to good old Blighty, weren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, my Spanish isn't great, and the jobs that are available here aren't very well paid, even if you can speak Spanish. So unless you are involved in the tourist industry in some way, then that's pretty much the only opportunities here, unless it's online. So fortunately, trading's helped me stay here. So.
And I love what you said, that the Ninja trading system, in 3 months, you're able to earn a wage, which, guys, we're not ever talking about Ferraris and mansions here. We're just saying that my goal is to help people be able to quit their job, or save their job in effect. So hats off to you, because I know, you know, what we have is great, but at the end of the day, you still have to press the buttons and put the time in to learn it and do stuff. So hats off to you on that anyway. And now Adrian is one of our live traders in the group. He's one of those that are willing to sort of give a bit back, as it were. So sometimes people come in, they learn, and then they kind of say, well, look, you know, I know what it's like. And Adrian's one of those guys. I'm twice a week at the minute, and his sessions are kind of like pulling it all together. So all the bits that you learn here and there, Adrian's really good at like bringing that into one, so you kind of understand the whole thing and giving away a few little golden nuggets. So thanks for that, Adrian. So so why don't you teach us a little bit about support, resistance, trend lines, and everything that people have to learn when they get into Forex? and then we'll
Sure.
show you a shortcut.
Let me share my screen. I think you need to make me
Oh,
host.
yeah, I need to make you co-host. This Zoom thing. You might need to unmute as well, because I think I've just pressed the wrong button. Make co-host. There you go. The screen is yours, sir.
Let me get the right screen, and I'll have to log into the harmonic scanner. So obviously, as part of the Ninja trading system, one of the tools which we use is the harmonic scanner. And I still, even though I'm going to talk about support and resistance, I'm still going to use the harmonic scan. 1 hour, and we'll just take the latest one. So we're looking at pound New Zealand dollar. Okay, I'm not going to draw necessarily all the points and the scan and everything. I'm sure you've seen that in other videos. But what I am going to do is I'm going to look at the overall structure compared to where the scan is and look at support and resistance. So if I go to my trading view, and we're on New Zealand, I've forgotten already.
I do that all the time.
Okay, so this is where we are on the 1 hour chart. So first thing I'm going to do is just zoom out and see what is happening. Where is price? So price is at the moment, it's been coming down, 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 down.
So that's what we call a downtrend in Forex terms.
Yeah, and to simply explain that, it's when you've got a high up here, and then you've got a lower high, and then another lower high, and then another lower high, and also lower lows and lower lows. Okay. And the first thing I'm going to do, which Paul's touched upon, is I'm just going to draw a trend line, because what I can see here, just from experience, is there's the high. I'm just going to draw. I'm going to try and touch 3 or more points on the way down. So I mean these points here. So if I zoom in, I've got a trend line touching the top of that wick here. And then I'm looking at these points on the way down. I'm trying to match as many as possible to get an accurate trend line, but minimum I'm looking for is 3. And there we are. So on the 1 hour chart, we have a downtrend. However, right now, I'll zoom in, this black line is the trend line. Right now, price has come up above the trend line, tested it, and taken off in the other direction. So to me, that says that this is now, at least on the hour chart, is in an uptrend. Okay. Now, going back to the scan, when D's at the top, we expect price will drop. So as we're saying price is going up here at the moment, we are actually expecting it to come back down, okay, at some point. So all I do, and this is obviously a recent scan, it's still drawing. So this candle here is a 1 hour candle. It's still redrawing. So this point, move this out of the way, this point may actually move as this candle finishes within the next, we've only just entered the hour 8 minutes ago. So this could move significantly up or down as we speak. However, all I do for the basic support and resistance is I will take a rectangle and I'm going to look at the top of that candle. I'll make it a bit bigger just so you can see it, and it's still redrawing anyway. And I extend right and left. I actually only need to extend left, but to see where price has been in the past. So all I've done is draw a rectangle around the top of the current candle. Okay, if the D point was here and the candle would finish, I'd do it on that D point. Okay, but as the candle's still being drawn, we do it there. Now, as I look left, you can see around that rectangle, okay, where price has come up to the trend line, come down underneath the rectangle I've just drawn, and it acts as resistance here. So price has come up, tried to test it, been pushed away. Come up, tried to test it, been pushed away. Did that for several hours, pushed through, and then got pushed straight back again.
When it hit the trend line?
Just before the trend line. And then again, price tried to test through again, and it's been pushed away again. So this is good because, as Paul sort of like alluded to there, we've got an intersection here of support and a trend line. Okay, so that's one way that I look at support with the scans, just in terms of, is it likely that this D point is going to be a turnaround point? Now, obviously, as the candle's still being drawn, it's too early to say just yet. However, we know we've got an 89% chance of it retracing at least 15% C to D. If I always get mixed up with the 89 and the 80%, so you can correct me on that, Paul.
80% down to the median. Helen's session, get on Helen's session. She talks about that in her workshop one. But I'll tell you guys an easy way that helped me at the start. If you're thinking this is all confusing, if you look what Adrian's drawn and imagine that you've split a tower block in half or something, that's a ceiling, and people are trying to get up and they're hitting the ceiling. Okay, so that's acting as resistance now at the minute. Okay, it's a ceiling. The price goes up to it and it's getting rejected. And if it does break through, it's quickly bouncing off, but that bounced off the trend line. See, so we've got two things on this chart that are interesting. Now, carry on, sir.
Yeah, and then the next thing I'm going to do is look from this scan from the D point again. I will put the pitchfork on in a minute, but what I want to look at is, if price does come down, where is the point before the price went up? Where was the next support or resistance point? So I'm just going to look left here and move along until the highest point to my left, okay, which is here. And I'm just going to use that. I know it's a bigger zone that I'm drawing, but I'm just using the wick of this red candle here at 3 o'clock on the 3rd of May. I'm just doing the same principle. I've just drawn a rectangle. Now I'm going to look left again. Okay, now I've got two rectangles, one here, which I'm just going to color red because at the moment that is where price is coming down, and then this one we're undecided yet. But you can see again, just by marking a wick of a candle, you've got where price was trying to push above this level. It did peek through it and then it got pushed back down again. Same here. And actual fact, when this started from the trend line, it came down, pushed through the original support and resistance zone that I drew, and it actually bounced off the second one twice, and then it bounced between the two zones. So that potentially is, even without looking at pitchforks or anything else, if price does get rejected, as we expect it probably will, where's it going to go down to potentially? It should be at least to that previous support area, which is, in this case, 75 pips.
Which isn't a bad move. Now, what would be, Adrian's probably going to do this anyway, what would be interesting is if you draw the uptrend line on the bottom.
Yeah. If I can get the chart comfortable enough. So what Paul's saying is that now, because obviously we broke this downtrend line, so where's the lowest point of the current move? So we're going from this point down here on the 29th, and again we're going to try and get, I know I'm zoomed out a bit, but I'm trying to get 2 or 3 or more points, and I'm going to ignore that big wick for a minute. Okay, so I know I zoom in and out a lot, but so we've gone from this point here. Get my little circles on. We've gone from that point there, and we're trying to match up. And I say this, I don't know, this might have been news or something, I'm not sure. I'm just ignoring short moves, and I'm trying to get the consistent up, rejected, up, rejected, up, rejected, and where we currently are.
And this is where people get confused, isn't it? Because although it is actually pretty simple, it's not as easy as going touch along all the bottom of the wicks or the bottom of the candles, because in reality, look, price doesn't do that. It kind of can be a bit wishy-washy. So a lot of people get caught up on being what we say to the pip, you know, trying to get it exactly. And it's never an exact science.
it's subjective, I think, trend lines, because
Yeah,
some people might say, well,
yeah,
that's the trend line,
yeah,
or that is, or that
yeah,
is. So
yeah,
where do you know? I'm just putting on the way that I was taught basically a long time ago, is try to get 3 or more points
yeah.
of
Same here.
significant
Yeah,
support or resistance. So, and now we've got an intersection of this new, let me make this green so we know we're going up on this one, and this one we know we were going down. Okay, so just if anyone gets confused about the two lines. Okay, so we've got an intersection here with this support zone that I drew. Okay, so as price comes down to here, if it comes down to here, okay, if it breaks through that zone, you've got another idea of where it might reach or turn around or at least stall. Okay, and just something slightly off topic, but there is an area here of, let's put it blue and take off all the extensions. There's an area here where prices consolidated after the push. Like all of these, that price has just gone between these zones, tried to push out, come back up, and then it finally broke out the other side. So that's a little golden nugget. But so yeah, I mean, it can be a bit confusing, as Paul says, and we can carry on and do even more analysis. You just look where price has been rejected a number of times, and what you'll find is things line up. So I drew this rectangle based off of these here on the left, where price was rejected, rejected, rejected. Okay, and again here, again here, again here. And the bottom of that zone, by pure coincidence, well, it's not really because it just lines up, is where price was rejected off the trend line.
to the pit.
Almost, it would be if I drew it accurately. But you don't have to. This is one of the things where you don't have to do it to the pip. You just need an idea, because obviously we've got all these other tools with like the ninjacator, where if we think price is going to go up or price is going to go down, I'll do the analysis on the hour chart, and then I'll just drop down to a 15-minute chart and put, I've actually turned everything off for this demonstration, but I put a ninjacator on and switch to the Heikin-Ashi candles.
Whoa, look at that.
In
Isn't that
fact,
nice?
without putting any alerts on right now, you can see as far back as you want to go through the trend line. We had an indicator up on the start of this up move. Okay, even if you only waited till it went all the way down again, almost to the trend line, we had a move up, and we're told by an indicator. Okay, and if we were looking at this at 6 o'clock this morning, yeah, we could have actually got the up move here for a nice 98 pips.
It's just simple support and resistance, but then using the tools that we have in the group, okay, to make, and this is what we've been doing now for over 4 years, trying to make it easier and easier and easier. But I know people still get confused. Like, for example, you hear people talk about support. There's a support line. There's an area of resistance. They talk support, resistance, and I always tend to say support and resistance, because you can see elements there on that bottom zone that Adrian's drawn, where over to the left it's resistance. The price is going up and it's acting as a ceiling, but then it's broken through and then it's acting as the floor a bit further in the middle of the screen there. Now it's support. Now it's supporting and price is going up. So we always, little things like that tend to help. It's always support and resistance. It's never a support line, never a resistance line. Support and resistance is what it is. And then we have to wait and see what the price does. Most traders don't have a clue. What we have is an indicator. And we think we've been pretty smug until now, don't we, Adrian?
Yeah, and just one thing on that. I don't draw lines anymore in terms of support and resistance. I always draw a zone, because by drawing the zone, you can see where price is actually going to come out of it. If you draw a line, you're not sure where you are in terms of that price movement, if that makes sense. You need to know that it's going to be between here and here, because otherwise you'll get caught out and you'll go, oh, why am I 20 pips down? It didn't respect my support line.
Yeah.
No, because it's still in that zone.
Exactly, and you got the Ninjacator to help you with that. So
yeah, absolutely.
So however, Adrian might be made redundant soon.
Again.
Again, because and I saw one of our trading group did a video on it going, she hates this product because it's making us look stupid, because we're kind of doing all this training and we're doing live sessions and, you know, we're helping people, and then it's very, very new. So we've cut this section maybe a little short, because at the time of recording this anyway, it's brand new, and with early indications say that it's going to be something we are all going to use a lot more. Do you want to show us colors, Adrian?
Yeah, I had a look at this on Friday and a little bit yesterday, although it was a bank holiday, so it probably wasn't the best time to have a look at it. But we've got this new tool within, and I don't normally talk about IM Academy, but we've got this new tool in IM Academy, which is the same place we've got the harmonic scanner. And basically, if you can match red with red and green with green, and without knowing anything about Forex, about the pairs, about support and resistance, anything, okay? And the way it works, there's a little details panel here. I won't go through every single thing, but we've got 4 types of confirmation arrows, red or green. Green is up, red is down. And then, as you can see on the right of the screen over here, we have 4 different circles. Each one represents something like a trend direction or the volume or the volatility. Okay. The basic idea of it is we have, whenever there's a notification, it will appear at the top on the right of this this screen you're seeing now. So the latest one we had was just a minute ago on EuroCAD. Okay, it's down, but we've only got 3 out of the 4 circles at the moment, but we can still analyze it from that. And what we need to look at, because we're looking for a sell, which is red, we've got a red zone here where price, this is support and resistance. So this is how it links in with what I've just been talking about. If I zoom out here, just before we get into colors, you can see price came up, it's been within this zone, it pushed out, it got rejected, it pushed from that zone to another one. Price tested this one, dropped heavily to this one. Again, rejected, support and resistance. So it's a support and resistance zone. And here it even tells you, in this instance, how many retests it's had. So price came through it here, look, and it got retested here, and then it's come down, okay? But all that said, right, all we need to look for is, are we coming away from a red zone? Excuse me. Have we got any confirmation arrows? Well, at the moment in the close vicinity, we've got 2 of the red ones, and we had a previous red one here. We've got a red trend line and a red candle. We've got a red bar and a red line and a red bar. So in all intents and purposes, even though this is only 3 out of the 4, on the right, we have the start of a 1 hour down or sell potential. Okay, obviously this one was just formed a minute ago, so it's one to watch. But as you can see, price at the moment is just retracing a little bit. I suspect because we've got this little draw a square in here. We've got this little consolidation zone here. Look,
that's where price is basically going sideways. If you're not sure what that means, guys, it's not really going up and down, is it? Look, it's kind of stuck in a little box, going up and down inside a little box.
And if you look at the time, it's through the Asian session yesterday, so it's overnight. So now, obviously, the markets are picking up. London's been open for a couple of hours, and now they're just trying to find the path. So they've come out of this box. Some will call it a breakout. But we don't need to know any of it. That's the whole point. All we're looking for is this red? 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 Yeah. Okay. Sell.
Show us a buy. There's Euro NZD down there. How did that one work out?
So 4 hours ago, we've got all four indicators in the green circles are pushing up. So if we look at 4 hours ago at 5, it tells you the date and the time as well. So you don't even have to count candles. All right. So if I take a, where's it gone, vertical line, and I look on the bottom here at 5 a.m. Okay. So where I've just drawn this blue line, let me just make it a little bit thicker for you. So where I've drawn this blue line is where we had this notification on the Euro NZD for a push up. Okay. Now, at this point, when we got the signal, I'll just zoom out, there's nothing above this. So at this point, we had a small green candle, a green line, sorry, a green bar, a green line, and a green bar. But at that point, we didn't have any confirmation arrows either.
And there's a red line on the trend line.
And a red line on the trend line, yeah. So if we'd have waited until 8, I know it's 3 hours later, but you can come back every hour just to glance at it and see. Or you can do what I would suggest. In fact, let me just go and have a look at this. Euro NZD. Euro NZD. Right. On the 1 hour chart.
Oh, look, a ninja up.
That's at 2 a.m. I'm just going to drop down to the 15 for a minute. So at 6, we had a ninja up. Okay. So what you could do is just put a ninja alert and see if it aligns with it. There's something I'm testing, but without even that. So 8 o'clock, going from top to bottom. Sorry, bottom to top. I've got a green bar, a green line, a green bar, 2 green confirmation arrows. The moving average has changed from, or is changing from red to green. So I would wait until this next candle where we got the final confirmation arrow. So had you taken that, even if you waited for close of bar, so opening on the next bar, you 35 pips.
Guys, but a lot of people in our group only go for 10 pips a day. And everything that we're seeing with this, what we're trying to work on now is basically capturing the entry, because you can't put an alert on this. So like Adrian said, oh, you can come back every hour and check. Well, I don't want to do that, and neither do most of our group, I would suspect. So the Ninjacator lets us put alerts on, and there's already people that are making it work with the Ninjacator, but it is still early days. But the point of this video for me is, like, you know, trend line, support, resistance and all that. It is great to learn, and you should have an understanding of it, in my view. But if you're brand new, or you're a 7-year-old kid and you can match colors, you can trade Forex with this. You just wait for everything to be green for a buy, everything to be red for a sell. And at the minute, I know that this is already taking the popularity of this where it is now in relation to how long it's only been out, a few days. I think this is going to be fantastic for us. So you might want to reach back to the person that introduced you to this workshop series to get an update and see how we're doing with this, because I think this is going to be pretty awesome. Don't you, Adrian?
Yeah, I mean, I've only looked there on the 1 hour, and you can trade.
Yeah.
I don't tend to trade the 1 minute or the 5 minute, but you know, you can, if you've only got a short amount of time,
Yeah,
you can come down to the 15 minutes. Just with one more example, 8:45, we had a ninja. Sorry, not a ninja down. A signal for a down move, which is over here, but everything obviously wasn't lined up until 10. But if you'd have got in at 10 o'clock and waited for price to maybe come underneath the moving average, there's another 20 pips. And that's within the last, I'm on the wrong time zone, 1 sec. Where are we? Reykjavik. Yeah, because we were setting up for the call. But so sorry, it was 7 a.m. till 9. Within 2 hours, you got 20 pips, and you didn't have to do any analysis or anything.
I like it. And this is the point, guys. You know, sometimes people go, I'm Academy, what's the company like? And, oh, is it this, is it that? The tools work. And that's all we care about in our group. We're a trading group. And as long as the tools work, we're very, very, very happy. And as long as the tools make me more money than it costs, I'm very, very happy. And thankfully, we're not making any income claims here. But if You know, people struggle to pass their driving test sometimes, but let's face it, we all know that driving a car works. And I believe it's the same with Forex and these tools. They work. You know, how you learn them, how you apply them, well, that's up to you. But at the end of the day, we get so many success stories like Adrian, who's managed to stay in Tenerife rather than have to come home, you know, back to the UK. Love it. I love it. That's why I do it. Anything you want to add, Adrian, or have we kind of showed them everything?
No, only the fact that until now I've only used the harmonic scanner. And if you look on the left of the screen here with all these boxes, okay, these are all the potential different systems or strategies that IM Academy offer. And this is just another strategy out of, I've never even counted them up, but I'm just looking, it must be about 20.
Yeah.
Something like that, between 15 and 20 without counting them. And you know, this is really brand new, as Paul said, and it's just simple because you don't have to think about where is price, is, you know, how is it on the higher time frame, do I have to put support resistance on, do I have to draw a scan? It's literally just, is it red, is it red, is it red, yes, right.
Yeah. I mean, the thing I will say about IM Academy, guys, I'll give you one of the negatives about it, and then I'll give you one of the positives about it. One of the negatives is there are so many different strategies in there that you can use, so many different tools. That's one of the negatives. One of the positives about it is there are so many tools in there and strategies you can use. It's a double-edged sword in some ways, because for one, we're not arrogant in our group to assume that the way Adrian trades is the way that is right for me or for you or anybody else, right? Or the way that I trade is right for Adrian or anybody else. So what that means is, with all of these tools, I promise you there is something that suits you. That is a promise. It might not be this tool. It might be the scanner. It might not be the scanner. It might be there's vibrato, there's bounce back, there's pivots, you know, there's all sorts of things you can do. And a lot of people really struggle, right, just to do as they're told. So if we're all over colors at the minute, some people like to be different and they'll go and look at pivots. Just the way it is. Okay, but it gives you that flexibility to do what you want to do inside, you know, inside all these tools. But we tend to use the scanner. Why? It comes with the basic package. It's very successful. We shouldn't really say it, but a lot of people do refer to it as a cash machine. Once you learn how to use it, you will lose trades still, because we all lose trades in Forex sometimes. But as long as you're winning more than you lose, you're a profitable trader with proper risk management. And the scanner's a great tool for that. But we are really loving this because it's even simpler. And that's what we're all about. So, right. So thank you very much, Adrian. I hope you're all enjoying this workshop. And if you want to get on with Adrian, he's on every Wednesday and Friday in the members group.
I am indeed. Yeah, 3:30 p.m. GMT. Teaching
his little golden nuggets. GMT with a G and T.
Well, the one thing about the colours for me is sometimes, you know, there's not always a scan to mark up.
Yeah.
So if there isn't a scan for me to work from, now I've got another tool to go and look at possible potential trades, you know, where, you know, we haven't got a harmonic scan at that particular time, which, because it does happen.
Yeah, we can't make trades happen. It's where, especially like with bank holidays and things, guys, because London's obviously closed, so it slows everything down. So, right, well, thank you very much, Adrian. Like I say, if you're watching this is just one of the workshop series showing how we are doing it. Okay, like how Adrian didn't have to come back to the UK. He shares exactly what he does, and we're trying to give you an insight into that and teach you the tools we use, why we use them, how they work, and everything. So I hope you found this useful. And we'll see you on the next video.
Cheers, Paul.
Cheers, Adrian.